Good morning, and in this video I want to talk about the biggest sales mistake that software founders typically make through all of the many engagements that I have with founders on the present day and throughout recent years as well. Now, the biggest gap that I often see is that founders don't have any form of sales process or any form of system or set of standards around how they actually go to market. And this becomes very, very difficult and non-scalable from the jump. And what founders are doing is they're using the passion that they have for their product, the passion that they have for their business, because it is their business, and they start going out and selling. And they're often doing that through referrals, and they're kind of kicking and screaming and finding their way to deals, just typically through their network. It's typically through people they know, or they might find their way to their first deal or two and they get some referrals off the back of that deal. Now, as much as that can be valuable to get you off the ground, very quickly, many founders, they hit this ceiling because what they realize is they're now trying to scale a referral model and it just doesn't scale. It's not predictable. You can't fundamentally say, I'm going to do this activity in this particular way to get this output. It just doesn't work that way. And so now you want to scale your business and you become stuck. And this is something that also happens with sales leaders as well. They're trying to grow through a referral-based model and they're not growing through a system or a set of standards and a process. And so it's fundamentally important to take the time to actually almost sometimes go backwards to enable yourself to go forwards over time, which is taking the time to create a sales process. This is a repeatable way that you go to market. So when you're on a discovery call, you generally ask a certain type or a framework around the questions that you ask. You do it in a particular fashion, and you know that will typically deliver a certain amount of conversations that will advance to the next step. And then you do the same thing for every single step in the process. So you first got to create a process, and then you've got to create standards around how you execute on each stage of that process. And by doing that, when you start to then have a sales team, you're able to give them a blueprint. You're able to give them a system, a standard, and a set of frameworks so that you know whether you have one salesperson, 5 salespeople, or 10, you bring them into your system and you know your system will deliver a certain output. And very few founders go on doing this. Sometimes they don't do it because they just don't know, because you don't necessarily have a sales background in your product base. And in that type of instance, you need to be working with someone like myself or a sales consultant or a fractional CRO, someone who can help you to actually create and shape what it takes to build a predictable engine. Get the help. If you don't know how to do it, get the support. There's many people out there that can be helpful. Again, message me or message someone else that focuses on that type of thing. And the other component is you need to know that you can't rely on building an engine based on referrals. It just won't scale. It can get you off the ground. It can get you to a certain amount of revenue, but it won't sustain. Salespeople need structure. They need an understanding around how they can hit their numbers, and they need a predictable and a repeatable system so that they can also have confidence in the amount of commission they can earn, the bonuses they can expect and beyond. You've got to incentivize your sales talent to make sure that they can get out of bed every day and feel enthused about the opportunity that you can present to them as well. I hope this video has been helpful in some way, and I look forward to seeing you on the next one.